everybody, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build video. And in today's video, we are going to be building a house in Sulani. I don't know what to call it yet, unfortunately, but it only fits 2 sims, so I guess you can call it like a getaway home or something. But we are building this house in Sulani, and Sulani is, again, the greatest world, I think, to build in. And this build took me quite some time because at first I didn't really know what to build, and I got very not in the mood for building, so I just tried my best and just tried to build something. At least I built something, even if I don't feel like doing anything. But anyways, yeah, I really feel recently very down to build. I think it's because of work. There is a lot of work for me to do and it's just very stressful, and I want to make sure that I also at the same time keep producing content and just catch up with the social media that I have, including The Sims. Because ever since I started working, I didn't really have any time to check any social media, so it's kind of stressful for me, but I guess I just have to adapt to it and try my best and just produce content at the same time. But yeah, back to this build. This build is a house that is only fitted for 2 sims. I guess you can fit it for 1 sim if you like, but the size of the bed that I included is quite big and it's only for 2 sims, so the maximum number of sims that you can fit in this house is 2 sims. And the concept that I was going for is, I don't even know what concept I was going for, to be honest, because I didn't really know what I should build, like I said just now. But I ended up using a lot of items from the new kit, which is the courtyard oasis, and I guess you can say that this house is basically just a house that is in the style of the Moroccan theme type of architecture. So you saw that I put that fence that came with the new kit, but for the columns that I use, it is from the Island Living Pack, so it's kind of this islandish Arabic, I guess you can say. But yeah, that is about it for the style of the architecture that I randomly came up with, because I didn't even know how to what to think about when I built this, because I don't know, it just demotivated me. But for the color scheme of this build, I decided to go with the bright blue color scheme for the exterior, but for the interior, I guess for the interior I mixed it up a little bit because, like I said, I didn't know what kind of style I wanted to go for this build, so I just randomly put furnitures together to make them look like it's blended together. So it doesn't really have a theme in the verbal concept, but it is kind of this oceanic or Mediterranean beach theme, I guess. But for the structure, it took me only some time to build it, and for the back part of the house, I absolutely didn't know what to put, so I ended up just putting that staircase over there. So there is no staircase inside because I put the staircase outside so that your sims have totally a lot more space for them to roam around in the inside, but they have to use the stairs, of course, to get to their bedroom, so that's a down point, I guess, for this build. But yeah, it just took me quite a while to figure out the floor plan, because I tried to go on Pinterest but I couldn't really find any sort of architecture that I had in mind in terms of the exterior and the structure of the build, so I just went randomly with a post that I saw. And the exterior of that post kind of looks like this, but it's white in color. But for the back part, I just decided to go with what I had in mind at that instantaneous moment when I built this house, so it kind of is random for the back part of the house, but I guess you can see that it is well put together. I guess so. If you don't want to say that also, that's fine, that's up to you. But for the landscaping, it took me just a little time because I just filled in the front part of the house. There is no landscaping at the back part, there isn't even any corals or coral reefs that I put in the ocean because I simply forgot and I just didn't really have the mood to build, so I just landscaped the front part of the house with the things that I usually use, which are the bougainvillea flowers for the floor and also the textured grass from the Island Living Pack. But we're working on the back part of the house right now, but I will be furnishing it a bit later on. I just wanted to play around with the layout on where I am supposed to put things, so I just put that random shaded area that came with the Island Living Pack just to indicate where I should put the lounge chairs. Yes. But for the inside, the color scheme is generally bright and plain, I would say, because I used the wallpapers that came with the new kit, which is the Courtyard Oasis kit, and it is kind of plain wallpaper, and I didn't really see the point of the Sims team adding this wallpaper when they can add it like in the base game, because the base game has a lot of plain colored wallpaper, so kind of doesn't make sense to me, to be honest, when I think back about it. But yeah, I think the colors may be a bit different, but the concept is still the same. It's just plain, and I think they should have put it in the base game, because the base game, like I said, has a lot of like plain wallpapers that you can use, and there's also plenty of plain wallpapers, enough already for me, I guess. But for the other wallpaper that came with the kit, which is the tiled ones, I think that is kind of mosaic tiles, that is a different type of wallpaper that is suitable for the kit, in my opinion. So yeah, that's just me ranting about the wallpapers. But for the color scheme of the inside, like I said, is generally bright. And for the living room over here, at first I wanted to use the couches that came with the island living pack, which kind of look modern and squarish and has this mesh area around it. And I'm not so sure if you can hear any background noise, because my dad is working on some carpenting. He does kind of this like stools that he does for his hobby, because he is a retired person, so the house gets noisy sometimes because of the tools that he has. But if you hear that, please don't mind it. It's just know that it happens on a daily basis, so I kind of got used to it, and I just like learned to ignore it. But yeah, anyways, back to this living room over here. It is blue in color, and I used the couches that came with the island living pack, which has this mesh material around it, and I will be changing that to the kids one, which is the Courtyard Oasis, later on. But I don't think I will be showing it in this video, because I decided to change it at the last moment, because I thought that the Mediterranean or Moroccan type of couches suited the living room better, and also because I used a lot of items from the kit, such as the fences and also the stairs, so it would kind of make sense if I use the couches that came with it instead of the island living one. But over here is going to be the kitchen of the house, which is blue in color. I tried to match the inside with the outside so that everything was consistent, but I think the blue for this one is kind of more faded than when you compare it to the wallpapers of the exterior. So it is in the same range, but it is a different shade, I would say. But yeah, I stuck to this blue color because I really like the blue color. It really looks nice. I thought that it looks very family oriented, so I decided to use it in the kitchen and just pair. I usually, when I do kitchens that involve the counters from the Parenthood pack, I usually have to use the tiles that came with it. I'm not so sure if you do the same thing, but for me it is like a mandatory thing to do. So I ended up using the wallpapers that came with the Parenthood pack also, just to match it with the counters, because I don't think that there are a lot of tiled wallpapers that are not from the Parenthood pack that can match with the counters from the Parenthood pack. Yeah, I'm not so sure if that totally makes sense, but I hope you can get the picture. But anyways, this area over here is going to be the study area, which is where the computer is and the bookshelf. I only managed to squeeze in only one bookshelf and not so much of wall decorations, because it is quite a small area. And I also forgot to put in the curtains for this room, so it ends up being just windows over there. But the door for the study room is a sliding door, which is transparent, but I think I should have changed that door because I don't know, when I was building it, I wanted to keep things consistent, so the doors that I use throughout the builds are also all the same with the other sections, but you can always change that if you want to. So for this build where I use the sliding door, it is quite awkward because the sliding door you can see inside of the study room, but yeah, you can change that if you want to. But anyways, over here is going to be the bedroom, which is very simple, and I ended up removing the log decorations that came with the, I think, perfect patio. I'm not so sure because I don't really use it. I mean, I do use it, but I don't really focus on what pack it's from. I'm not so sure if that makes sense. But yeah, I removed that because it didn't really fit, in my opinion, for this build. And also the bedroom ends up being quite a huge space, so I just randomly put things here and there. I included a sitting area in front of the bed just to make it look more aesthetically pleasing, quote unquote. And I also used the wardrobe that came with the Island Living pack, which is this just drawer, and just put in an art easel, I think, just now. But over here is going to be the ensuite, which is the last part of the house. After this, we're moving on to the like backyard decorations, but it's the ocean decorations. But it's just a simple bathroom with the base game tiles that I use, which kind of looks like Moroccan or Mediterranean. But yeah, anyways, over here is the balcony, which I included just a couple of lounge chairs that came with the spa day pack. I don't think it's a lounge chair, but it is that foot massage thing, and I just use it because I wanted to make this house look kind of like in the high class people Sims category. So I just use the chairs instead of the normal lounge chairs that came with that you can see from the outdoor part of the build by mode. But over here is going to be the barbecuer area, which I included a sink from the laundry day pack, and I really like the sink. It really looks rustic, and it doesn't I mean, it doesn't look too like modern, and I really like it because it kind of looks different from like what you will normally use for the inside of the houses. But anyways, we are going to be approaching the end of the video soon, so if you like this build and you want to download it, it's already up in the gallery under my ID, which is simmerkhai. I really hope you guys will like this one. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and comment if you want to. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!